Hey guys, welcome back to part 3.
Maybe part 4. Depends on how it gets cut.
Yeah. This is going to be more parts than we initially thought, but there you go. Last time Michael went over some numbers and longest videos and stuff like that, and what I have next is basically I took all of the categories that we have, and I just I just put down the first date of release and what it was about, and then we just go back through the history of the beginnings of all of our different little sub channels, whatever you want to call them. Oh, sorry. And we will discuss more in detail the failed attempt of the Roommate Chronicles when I get done. First category, and again, this is just an order of how it comes up on YouTube, is mine, 46 Challenge. I initially started that, and a lot of people have asked, well, not a lot, but some people have asked why I call it the 46 Challenge. And initially, how it started was, we had already picked up the video camera. I didn't have a job at the time. I hadn't been down here very long.
Yeah.
You know, I just moved down like a couple of months before, maybe. But I went over, I looked at the movies that we had, which
was tiny compared to the way it is now.
Tiny compared to the way it is now.
Yeah.
You know, they were almost all Michael's movies. I had brought some, but not a lot. And I went through and I counted all the movies that I had not seen that he owned at the time. And there was 46 of them. And so I called it the 46 Challenge because I was going to go through and I was going to watch all 46 of them and review them. I still never got around to that. I wouldn't even be able to tell you what those original 46 movies are.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably seen most of them by this point. So that's how I got it. And I uploaded my first one on August 4th, 2012, and it was The Last Samurai. It was the first review I did. And I don't have a link for it. It was probably decently long because I remember I had a lot to say about that movie. I really loved that movie. I don't know why I had never watched that movie before that day, but yeah. Next up, Michael's movie reviews. He uploaded his first one October 6th, 2013.
But let me say one thing about that. This one, I'm going to tell you how long this took to. So before he gets into when I put the first one up, I don't know if you already said it. I don't know. I did a trailer for it. I shot a little trailer for it. It was 5 minutes long. I guess I was describing what I was going to be doing. It was a promo for it. I published it on November 19th, 2012. When was my first review?
October 16th, 2013. 9 months later. 10 months later.
A long time later. I guess it took me that long to actually do it.
Yeah, and his first one was honestly no surprise as to what you chose for your first one, Oliver and Company. So, yeah. Now, he does his reviews a little different. I really like the way you do your reviews. I wish you did more, but I understand they take a little bit more time to do because he really gets into a lot of detail, especially about when the movie was released, the cast, behind-the-scenes type stuff. You get into a lot of that. Now, me, I just watch a movie and then I turn on the camera and talk about it. But I just like talking about my feelings about the movie and stuff like that. You know, I don't get into a lot of the detail like he does. And so I understand that it takes you a little bit longer to do them. Michael's Daily Musings.
Which have not been daily.
No. June 8th, 2013 is when you uploaded your first one. And it was about Hot Tub Time Machine 2 and why the movie and why it is an unnecessary sequel. And
Yep.
You've seen it.
It's still an unnecessary sequel.
There you go.
It was lame. It was really. I mean, I don't know how you could recast John Cusack I mean, it's a different character. And granted, you know, now watching back since I've seen Parks and Rec, it's the guy who played Ben. I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Adam something.
Yeah, but
It was hilarious.
He's hilarious, yes. But I hadn't seen. I might have enjoyed it more if I had seen Parks and Rec before that, but I hadn't seen it, so I didn't. I was like, who is this guy, and why is he trying to be a low rent John Cusack? No offense, dude, because you know you're really hilarious, but sorry, that movie kind of blew.
Open the Box, which is of course my vlog.
Which you need to open back up soon.
Yeah, I really do. But anytime I have something, you know, for a long time there, one of the main reasons why I wasn't doing a vlog was because anytime I had something that I was like, oh, I would really like to talk about this, I would just save it and we would talk about it on the podcast. But since we're shifting around our position on the podcast a little bit, maybe it would be a good idea for me to start that back up. March 31st, 2014 is when I uploaded the first one. And really, actually, my first one was mainly just kind of an intro, but I did actually talk about something, so I'm counting it. And I talked about zombies and how my mind works. And it was just kind of an explanation of what Open the Box was really going to be about. That it was going to make no sense because things don't make sense to me up here. But I did tell a very, very, very funny work story about, and again, it's just about how my mind works when I think about things. Over analyzing. Our 3 cents, we uploaded our first video, our first official movie review on November 16th, 2012, and we tackled Magic Mike, of all things, as our first one. And I think that was because Irma wanted us to do it.
Yeah, she wanted.
Was it Irma?
I don't remember how it worked out, but somehow Magic Mike ended up being our first review. So.
Yeah. To Be or Not To Be was uploaded. Our first one was uploaded on September 9th, 2014, which was the premiere of the last season of Sons of Anarchy. We actually shot that video about 30 minutes before Sons of Anarchy, before the season premiere started. And it was basically just an intro to what we were going to be doing, and apparently we had a power outage. It's actually quite funny. You should go watch it. At least watch the first couple of minutes. Even if you've never seen Sons of Anarchy, just go watch the first couple of minutes of that one, because it was quite funny.
It was hilarious.
And I remember it now that I watched it, because I watched the first few minutes to kind of get something out of it. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember, because we were freaking the hell out about that. I already talked about top 5 surprise list, what the first one was, top 5 bands that should be more popular. May 11th, 2012. We uploaded both parts that day. We just put his first. Unboxing. First one was March 30th, 2016, and you unboxed the Samsung Gear VR. We Love the Movies was May 24th, 2013, and it was actually not very long after we moved in here, after we moved into this apartment. And it was just an intro as to what it was going to be about, and it was just kind of doing a simple show off of the collection. And it was actually part 1 of 4. We ended up discussing our top 5 favorite movies in that series of videos. And then we talked about some of our favorite things that we own, movie-wise.
Right.
What's New was 10/07/2014, October 7th, 2014. I don't really have anything about what the first one was, because it didn't last very long.
Yeah, whatever. It's just whatever came out that week.
What's in the Bag? First one uploaded 1/1/2015, because that was like your New Year's resolution, was to restart that and to try to make it more consistent. And you've actually done that. And it was a short video. I had only picked up 3 things. Picked up Tusk, Ramona and Beezus, and The Equalizer, which started a constant trend for our what's in the bag. Oh, why did we buy this movie? Well, Jonathan bought it because Chloe Grace Moretz is in it.
Did you do that one? I've never seen that.
Oh yeah, I've never seen that. That is kind of part of my 46 challenge, but I just put it in a separate playlist. The first one I would have uploaded, it would have been October 1st, 2016, because I did them.
For Halloween's?
Yeah. Last year?
Yeah, the intro. October 6th.
October 6th.
Yep.
Yeah, but I went through 18 movies, I believe, and it was all horror movies that I had not watched yet that we owned. I basically picked out every horror movie that we owned that I hadn't seen yet. And that was a long month. That was a lot of reviews.
Yeah.
And I remember one night, I think you were doing inventory that night or something.
Probably.
Because I was home for almost the entire night by myself. I did 3 of them in one night. I watched 3 movies and then reviewed them one night. That was a long 8 hours. But yeah, so that's, just some background. And Roommate Chronicles.
Quickly, we can get through this quickly.
We decided that we wanted to make an actual show. A scripted weekly show. And we just weren't ready.
Yeah.
That was the basic.
It was too ambitious.
It was too ambitious. We didn't have time. We were working too much. We had 2 days a week that we could shoot.
Yeah.
And that is not enough time to make a 20-minute scripted show.
Right.
It
was basically going to be the history of. It's basically going to be kind of like a reality show, a scripted reality show. Basically, everything you saw in there was like nerdy crap that we actually deal with every day anyway. So. Yeah,
but with a little bit of a backstory, and we weren't brothers; we were roommates.
Right.
But I thought that we had a good enough concept, but we just didn't have the time. We didn't have the energy to be able to do it, and I think a big part of it was we just didn't have the room. Not maybe a big part of it, but that was a hindrance because we are in this apartment trying to do that, and it just didn't work. I think that it's something that we could potentially do in the future if we can get a more steady schedule and have more room, but it was too ambitious. We didn't have time. We didn't have energy. We couldn't do it, but we do have 3 episodes of it up if anybody for some reason would want to check it out and see what we were trying to accomplish. Yeah, it just failed. That's all there is to it.
And we learned that it's okay to fail at something, because we learned, okay, we're not ready for this yet.
Mm-hmm.
So
we even did one of them where we went to another state.
Mm-hmm. That's the unreleased one. That's the unfinished unreleased one, I think.
Is it?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there you go. We've had some successes. We've had some misfires. And next we'll take a few minutes and talk about what we have planned for the future.